taking shots at the enemy. I'm gonna make it to the top, leave a legacy. If I got something to say, you better let me speak. Turn it up a new degree, bitch, you ain't seen anything. I pop off with the new rock, electronic, blow the sonic roof up. I'm too honest when I take a few shots. They're too toxic, need to take the noose off. And you cannot save me, cause I don't need saving. It's everything I've been chasing, all here for the taking. Don't wanna test your luck with me, I think I've had enough disease. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who are half-nots. You are not as tough as.
The final show before Conquest is upon us, and 6 big bouts will be the finale before our live event. We have one final Conquest qualifier tonight, as well as some other big boy bouts to ready us for Conquest. So strap on in, buckle up, and let's get going. Well, you're getting one half of LFI. How about the other takes to the arena this week?
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring, representing Legado del Fantasma from Monterrey, Mexico. Weighing in at 198 pounds, Berto!
Last week, Angel Garza took to the ring to battle a breakout star. And this week, it's Berto's time, chance, and opportunity to overcome the ruler. A hard task ahead of the LFI member, as Obafemi is surging into 2026 with momentum.
And his opponent from Lagos, Nigeria, weighing in at 273 pounds, Obafemi!
1-0 since the new year has dawned on us, and Femi is forging a warpath here on Breakdown. A few more wins under his belt, and you kind of have to put him in title contention for maybe Drew McIntyre's Sapphire belt. That could be pretty impressive. However, after Conquest, it may not be McIntyre holding that championship, with him defending against the Sandman. Berto composed, and the ruler even more chilled out, because he is ready to destroy. As this matchup gets underway, collar and elbow tie-up that the ruler is getting the better of. Wrist lock applied to start this one off. Well, ruler keeping the pressure on as he brings it around town and looks to keep the arm trapped here. Berto able to escape. Ooh, rough landing there for Oba. Also, nice head scissor takedown from Berto to keep the pressure on. High flyer is on Berto as he brings a innovative style and game to his matches. The ruler, as we know, loves the pain, the power, and just raw domination. It's going to be hard for Berto to realistically keep Oba down. However, There are momentum shifters like that DDT, but oh no. The ruler's up and dropping Berto with a line. Massive shot there from Oba as we tie up for a second time. Who's going to get a better of this one? It's Umberto. And a chop out of it, but the ruler snaps one back with immediate aggression. Takes the back as well. And Umberto might be going for a little ride. No, it's the ruler. Snapmare takedown. Puts him into a headlock, and Umberto is controlling the early stages of this match. Utilizing his speed, his agility. Nothing too high-flying just yet, but he is maintaining control over Femi. Something that's not typically done. Well, Femi's had enough, it seems. Big time uppercut connects for the ruler. Irish whip, Femi. Drop down. Pops up and just drops Berto into the mat. You can't really call that a spine buster. It was just a high drop for Berto to take. Femi rolls out. Escapes danger, but eats a super kick on entry. We've said last week that Femi really has that sort of linebacker look as Berto hits the destroyer there. Caught me off guard with that one and almost gets the win. A 2 count off of that impressive maneuver. But he needs to really end Femi, not give him an avenue into this matchup. A flurry of strikes may do it, and well, he's going for that DDT again. This time Femi not so quick to jump back up, but now he takes his time to strike, and the ruler yeets Berto across the ring. Snapping now the neck of Umberto as that whiplash can be felt off that maneuver. A trio of elbow drops from the ruler as he's now got his prey in trouble. I may have spoke too soon as Berto springboard moonsault connects into the cover. One. And no. Not even close. The ruler kicks out with ease and scoops up Berto. Can't follow it up. I tell a lie. No. Berto springboard misses the kick, and now Femi sends him running. To the apron he goes. Berto avoids the follow-up punch. But he's back in the ring with the ruler, and Femi can drop him in a moment's notice. Avoids that kick to the gut, and now scoops up Berto. Gun stun off the ropes. Back and forth opener here. Berto giving us a better showing than what Garza did, but the ruler, we know he's got something waiting in the back, ready to strike. A snapmare takedown from Berto may change that though. Out the corner. Off the ropes, but into the knees. The ruler protects himself, but gets taken down. He cannot slow down Berto just yet. Pop up. Power bomb. Fall from grace for the ruler, who kicks out in time. Berto utilizing his opponent's finisher against him. And now looking to fly. Once more. Springboard. Drop kick connects. Femi in the drop zone as Berto effortless into the moonsault. Not slowing down. Just that running senton. Berto has control, but that boot's caught, and he is dropped with a line. The ruler now has chance to take control. Picks him up and tosses him across the ring. Berto is about to have a fall from grace into the cover from Femi. 2. No. Close to a 3, and the ruler felt it. He thought this was done and dusted. But Berto able to survive, but for how much longer? Running power slam from Femi. Puts down Berto for the cover. Good for 2 and nothing more. That early dominance, that control Berto had is gone. And the ruler gets to unload. May have spoke too soon as now Berto off the ropes. Gonna drop down with the basement drop kick. He has control here over Femi. Lining up. The Nigerian. The big man. Oba. Gonna stall, stagnate the offense from Berto. No. Gets him up top. Not gonna hit the fall from grace this time. Instead, it's Berto. No. May have been thinking pile driver or Mexican destroyer, but either way, Femi avoids. And Berto avoids whatever Femi was going for. Back and forth, standing Spanish fly. Berto taking over. Roll up here. No. Power bomb. Berto. Rings are sat and applied. And more of a brutalizer. Could get the tap out here. Rope break called. Our referee Kevin spotted the feet of Femi in the ropes and smartly calls for the break. Berto missing the splash. Could be costly because Femi's back up. And he is just gonna toss you about with ease. Flurry of punches from Femi as he sets Berto up. Big clothesline from hell. Drops Berto. Now a cover from Femi. 1, 2, 3. Not the most dominant of displays from the ruler, but good enough to earn the victory here. He survived more than anything. A flurry of explosive offense from Berto in the early stages. The Mexican destroyer. Then several high flying maneuvers. Almost got the job done. The fall from grace again. Utilized against Femi. Berto could not do it. As for Oba, you kind of have to think, to get into that title scene, he needs to be able to hang with a lot more of the more veteran members of this roster, the contenders for the championships. There's certainly a few of them that are lying about, ready for competition, of which there may be a couple in tonight's show, going toe-to-toe. But Femi, again, another victory, a second notch in 2026.
Here is your winner, Oba Femi.
Can he keep this momentum up after Conquest? We will have to see.
The following contest is a tag team match set for one fall. On the way to the ring, Asuka and Kairi Sane, the Kabuki Warriors.
Well, this time last week, we saw tag team action involving the other half of Damage Control. Asuka and Kairi this week in action, looking for some revenge, as Kai and Sky unable to earn the dub. This week it's down to these two to do what was unthinkable last week, or unobtainable last week. Certainly was thinkable. Io Sky and Kairi Dakota beating the Kabuki Warriors opponents tonight. A little bit of spice and redness.
Nick E. Bel-Air and Britt Bel-Air, Pretty Mean Sisters.
As the Bella Twins enter the picture for this matchup. And yes, in 2026, this unit finally reunited in WWE, looking for tag gold. Something these two are trying to attain here in IPW, but the last title match, a loss in a tables bout against the champions of Fatal Influence. And, well, we're still unsure of who will be the next #1 contenders for the women's tag belt. Obviously, that is not on the line during Conquest. In fact, looking at our Conquest card, we have some pretty nice bouts overall, including our main event, Kevin Nash, Will Ospreay for the Emerald Championship. Certainly a little storyline building and brewing since the Winter Classic between those two. And it's just hard to imagine the fact that Ospreay in, 4 weeks? Unable to beat Kevin Nash. In fact, since the new year, Ospreay has gone winless. Will he be able to turn on the spectacle, the best bout machine type performance in order to retain his championship. That will obviously be put to the test this weekend at Conquest. And I mean, we look at the other matches on the card that will be happening. Obviously, our final Conquest qualifier for the women's Sapphire belt will be held tonight. 4 more women competing for one last spot, and we'll probably touch on that matchup in a bit during that qualifier, but Julia has her work cut out for her during that one, and so does Abyss, in all honesty, who will walk away with that belt. And last of all, from the breakdown side of things, Big Daddy Drew defends against the Sandman, and the only thing that I know about that matchup is the Sandman is entering to enter the Sandman. There's no ifs, no buts about it. He will be entering the matchup with that song. I've already decided on that. But yeah, as for primetime side of the bracket, we've only got 3 technically matches for that side. Obviously, the men's Conquest bout for Abyss. He's got a stacked lineup of stars. Our last man entered the matchup on Tuesday. But just to rally off a few big names, Ilya Dragunov, Kazuchika Okada, DDP. You've then got The Miz and Aleister Black. And Pat frickin' McAfee. How in the world he qualified in that match? Well, regardless, he did. But then we have, obviously, Tuesday night's winner, which I don't want to give any spoilers on, but he is certainly a big name that can rival, I would say, Okada, DDP, and the Monster Abyss. Then, obviously, we've got... Well, we've kind of scratched on the fact that The Miz is competing in the Conquest bout, but he's also double booked in a mixed tag championship bout, going up against Montez Ford and Bianca Belair alongside his wife Maurice, and that's gonna open the show in probably a very explosive fashion. Both teams, well, the It Couple obviously the second ever mixed tag champions, didn't hold the belts for that long, and well, Montez and Belair, they've got to put everything to the test in order to survive that. And it's interesting, if you're The Miz, do you want to give it your all in the championship bout for the mixed tag championship, or will you reserve your energy for the big Conquest matchup? That's the real question. But we've already spoke about The Miz now doing double duty. Another person in that battle in the mixed tag championship match is performing double duty. That's right. Bianca Belair goes toe-to-toe with Fallon frickin' Henley. A big bout there for her. Her first ever shot at a top title in IPW. It's hard to believe that Belair's not been in the title scene at all since IPW's inception, but you can kind of see her as a top star. Right now, she gets that shot against a woman who's closing in on 1 year as champion. We have to go back to the roulette. Not roulette. It was the roulette night. Around the time of my birthday. That Fallon Henley won the belt, and now, a week out from my birthday, she's got a chance to make it to a full year as champion. Can she do it? That's the real question. But right now, we've turned our attention back to this matchup. It's been back and forth overall. Asuka's had flurries of offense. Kairi stood off of the apron is interesting. As Brie and the Bellas taking over. And now, some yes kicks coming out from Brie. Bang! Knockout shot. Brimo may have been activated here. As Asuka's sent into the ring post. The Empress back to her feet. Able to recover. As the count's getting up there. Up to 7 now. Asuka's going to return to the ring. Keep herself in the matchup. But the count reaches 8. And Brie will make it in before 9 comes in. Bella Buster. That came out nowhere. Flash of the pen. And bang into the cover. Kick out from Asuka keeps this matchup alive. But Kairi not in a position to save her partner. Brie knows it. She's seen where Kairi has positioned herself and is just keeping Asuka trapped. Ripcord forearm smash from Brie, who heads up to the second rope, drops the elbow as well. And why not add in a leg drop? Tag out, in comes Nikki. And well, the signature Bella twirl. Good sign. As the Bella Buster may have just sealed Asuka's fate into the Rack Attack. Down for the count, and the Empress goes night-no. She doesn't go night-night, but how does she get out of here? Kairi needs to get back on the apron. If I'm Asuka, I'm screaming, Kairi! At the top of my voice. But Nikki's not going to allow it. It's time for a Rack Attack. Not the 2.0, but for number 2. 1, 2, 3. Bellas do it once more. And damage control. Well, they have not controlled the damage that they have felt from the Bellas over the past 2 weeks. And now you start to wonder, do the Bella Twins deserve a second shot at Fatal Influence's titles? It is a fair question to be asked, because right now they are the hottest team in the women's division. Fatal Influence's women, they have not looked the best. They haven't actually had a normal tag match. I tell a lie, they had one last week against inferior competition more than anything. I have a feeling, though, A tag gauntlet may be brewing.
Here are your winners, Nick E. Bell-R and Britt Bell-R. Pretty Mean Sisters.
Well, the Bellas do it tonight. But who will qualify for Conquest? Let's find out right now. The first of 4 stars vying for the last spot. The best theme song she'll ever have as La Premiera.
The following is a fatal 4-way match. Making her way to the ring from San Fernando, Chile, Stephanie Paquet.
Takes to the arena. Vaquer has been dominant when given control of a situation. But in a fatal 4-way, control's gone. It's a similar story in an 8-way. Pure carnage and chaos ensues. Can the La Premiera deal with the situation? Or will it be someone else's time to shine?
And her opponents, first from Yorktown Heights, New York, Mandy Rose.
For a moment, I thought that Fatal Influence had done the exact same thing as what happened in the main event of last week's show and forced their way into a Conquest qualifier. Not the case, as Mandy Rose steps up to the plate. Rose, former holder of the resolution case, with that briefcase currently being held by the last kicker. Rose hasn't really got that big of an accomplishment here in IPW, and well, maybe winning the Sapphire belt could change that for her. But this matchup just keeps ramping up in terms of quality of star, as the Queen of Spades
Fusion Collective from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, the Queen of Spades, Shayna Baszler.
is set to destroy arguably a star that could do well in the underground. Checking, in fact, the record for her. Just surprisingly never had a match in the underground. That probably is soon to change. Obviously, the championship will be on the line in not this week, but next week, where Sol will be defending in a triple threat elimination matchup.
It's Tiffy time.
But that time isn't now. What it is right now is Tiffy time. As flashing photography is advised at this moment. It's time for the Buff Barbie to qualify.
And from Prior Lake, Minnesota, Tiffany Stratton.
The real question is, can she do it? Stratton, a solid star, but when it comes down to it, in IPW, the success is limited. In fact, I would say the majority of these stars in this matchup has minimal success. Will that change as we head towards Conquest and our last qualifier starting right about now? Our referee, Big Man Gregathy, issues for the bell, and, well, our stars happily oblige with the action. Early springboard maneuvers coming out from Stratton, and Vakir almost trying to knock out Baszler with a super kick, but she is now caught and powerbombed down. Baszler bringing it. Octopus hold here. Stratton just tarantulaing the arms. Goes for the cover here onto Mandy Rose, and a lot of similarities can be drawn between Mandy and Stratton. The only differences I would say is Stratton has a background in athleticism, gymnastics, and utilizes that in her styling as a wrestler. High-flying, innovative offense that Mandy doesn't really bring, but other than that, very similar in look, aesthetic, and just overall personality. But you need to look past that as the trademark IPW Saito suplexes come out in tandem. Shayna delivers one to Mandy, and well, Vakir gives her one, and that just is trademark IPW. Vakir crawling up the body of Baszler to deliver some nice headbutts. And trying to take over this matchup is Stephanie. Kiss goodnight from Stratton. She just slams the head of Rose into the floor. Baszler trying to go to work into dissecting the body of Vakir, but that's a neat defeat. Vakir connecting, and another Saito. Tiffy avoids, gets caught though by Rhodes, and Rose drops her with the side Russian leg sweep. Vakir must be looking for something big, and Baszler, wise to it, avoids the strikes. Grabs a hold of Vakir, traps the arm. Kimura locked in deep. And it is a very tight one. If you think about the fact that Vakir was dragged up to a seated position, that shows you the torque that Baszler got, but that's an SVB onto Baszler. Tiffy trying to break up the pin, can't do so. But she is going to be able to target Rose. Rose slowly to her feet, but caught with a crossbody. Roll-up attempt from Baszler. Snuffed out by Stratton. And you've got to think, both Tiffy and Vakir, futures of the business. Both with championship pedigree. In fact, all of these ladies, former NXT Women's Champions. A lot of skill, raw prowess from everyone involved here. The issue is, there are only two of them with world championships. Vakir and Stratton both have sat atop of the WWE. Baszler came close, and Rose never really reached that height. Now, she's going to get some Devil's Kiss. As the head hits the mat, Vakir looks and opts for that cover. And 1 count only onto Rose, but that's a good sign for everyone else involved. A lot more damage needs to be done to put Mandy away. But maybe the target isn't Mandy, as Baszler gets the hooks in. Just needs to fall back, and there's the rear naked choke applied. Rose planting. Vakir not going to go for the cover onto Stephanie. Instead, it's Stratton that probably unknowingly gets covered. Baszler taking the back of Rose, as that's the cartwheel into the Alabama Slam. Vakir landing off the referee. But Big Man Gregathy still okay. Was taken out momentarily. Still able to counter cover now, but whether or not it's going to be quick is a different question. Tiffy back on the offensive. A scoop and a slam. Puts Rose down in the drop zone as the prettiest moonsault ever connects. Cover for Stratton. Broken up with ease by Baszler. And Tiffy going back on the offensive. Gonna take away Baszler from this matchup. But keep your eyes on Stephanie. Kendo stick in hand, and she is gonna swing for the fences. Crushing it across Stratton's body. And Tiffy could be going out. Caught by Vakir. Dragon screwed. That vicious leg whip just sends her crashing into the mat, and more weapons in the hands of La Premiere. Shot for shot lands here. But Tiffy cartwheels through. Alabama Slam. Puts down Vakir for the cover, but rolls in to break that one up. Rose now unloading. Drops Baszler. This stage of a match, as a cover comes through, Rose trying to steal it there. You wouldn't think Baszler's taking too much punishment here. Booty popping moonsault from Stratton. Avoids the boot from Vakir as well. And a nice drop kick to follow suit. Very Mariah May-esque from Stratton. Powerbomb as well. Tiffy's taking control. But Vakir up. But caught on the flurry of offense from Tiffy. Leaping neck breaker from Stratton. And then another dropkick to put down Rose. Tiffy's lining up Mandy. All the while, Baszler stood watching on. Is now spiraling out the corner as Stratton to land that one. But cannot keep the pressure on. Because Vakir breaks up the pin and, well, gets busted open for intervening in Tiffy's world. And the Buff Barbie cartwheels into another Alabama Slam. Into the cover, no rope break in this style of matchup. And Tiffany Stratton is going to conquest. We certainly saw her drop many a competitor in this battle. As the Symphony of Saidos get a replay. Surprising, considering the heavy offense that was applied throughout the majority of the match. Tiffy, this cartwheel, a deadly weapon in this bout for her. I think she landed 3 onto Rose, who was kind of the target of everyone. There's the second cartwheeling Alabama. Here's number 3. I tell a lie, it was probably only 2 onto Rose. It was literally Tiffy just landing that one maneuver to seal the deal. Although you have to remember, this spiral corkscrew splash out the corner did land. It then gave her perfect opportunity to hit the Alabama slam. With Vakir and Baszler both down and out, the 3 was easy.
Here is your winner, Tiffany Stratton.
Does this mean it's Tiffy time at Conquest? We shall see. But that women's Conquest bout is going to be explosive. Well, the foghorn sounds. It's a goal in hockey. But not a goal in IPW just yet. It means it's time for war. The Viking Raiders, the War Raiders, whatever they want to be called.
The following contest is a tag team match set for one fall. On the way to the ring at a combined weight of 552 pounds, Ivar and Eric, the War Raiders.
Hell, let's just call them the Viking Experience. Ready to go and face off in tag team action, something they have been missing out on for quite some time. We have to just look back to... Oh, did they? I'm gonna be honest with you. They weren't involved in the tag team eliminator in the build-up to cash out. Honestly, quite surprising. Deserved to be in it, as now they have to...
First, representing New Catch Republic from Birmingham, England, weighing in at 205 pounds, the Bruiserweight, Pete Dunne.
Now they have to go up against the Bruiserweight. That is probably not the best thing in the world for them. But hey, Pete Dunne, a man that is a joint specialist, manipulator of bones, and just an all-round badass. Some may call him a Bravo or a Beta man. Others may call him Alpha. Who knows? He's certainly not El Grande, but hey, it is what it is as well. Get those mustaches out and peeled and wave. Hello, governor.
And representing New Catch Republic from Dudley, England, weighing in at 175 pounds, Tyler Bate.
It's Tyler Bate. I don't know why I'm putting on an accent, but I'm just polishing me mustache. Big Tyler Bate is a big, strong boy. And a big, strong man. Ready. Put his mustache on a mountain. and climb to the top and vanquish some Viking foes. The serious edge of this matchup's gone out the window. As soon as you start talking and saying, "Hello, governor," it's gone. And, well, we're going to have fun here with this one. New Catch Republic takes on the War Raiders. Dunn and Eric to start this off. And, well, Eric gonna just drop Dunn to start us with a nice taste of action. Our referee, big woman Kim. Even though she's not that big. She is a strong, tall woman who's here to slay us. That's a big power slam. Just tossing Dunn into it. Eric unloading some heavy offense, but Dunn, he's shook that off almost immediately. However, you can't shake off the big man, Ivar, who, well, he may have just been shook off. Eric tags himself in. Now gonna go to work on the legs of Dunn. Some joint manipulation being done to Dunn. That's interesting. Either way, it's a tag team match, and, well, the War Raiders trying to showcase their tag team proficiency by going for frequent tags. It's not going to work out this time, as Dunn's going to stomp into the back of Eric, as well as put some damage down onto that arm. Targeting the left arm of Eric. A good shot, obviously. When you are a joint manipulator, you tend to try to target the stronger arm of an opponent. And Tyler Bate, not so much a joint manipulator, more so a big strong boy who likes to powerbomb people, or tiger drive them as it's actually called. Now, Dunn. I thought had a recent match in IPW. I would hopefully be right. Indeed, he won against Axiom. Obviously, for Axiom, another team here on Breakdown. But not in this matchup. Instead, you take the skinny boys of Fraxium and beef them up into big Vikings. I can't really call them Scandinavian because I think they're both American, but there's that pop-up power slam again. Ivar just with authority launching Tyler Bate into the mat, and now Eric delivers that big knee. It's just the fact that when you watch it coming out from Eric, it's just so gracefully slow that even at that slow speed, just looks to do concussive damage to any opponent. Again, just unloads a nice combo there, does Erica's little shimmy and a slide. Puts him in a state where he still has control, and Tyler Bate may be going for a... No, not going to go for a ride. Instead, he's up and over into the cover. It's reversed as Eric now on top. Now it's Bate pulling down the trunks. Yeehaw! It's certainly one of these matches already. Aww. Bate, you've upset me. I thought you were going to give us a trademark IPW Saito suplex. Not the case. Instead, just a belly to back, and now Dunn trying to replicate the strength of the big strong boy. Cannot do so. Eric just going to brush it aside and then come through with a shotgun knee strike. The heavy artillery coming, but Dunn's had enough. Backstabber. Just spikes the knees into the spine of Eric. And why not? Keep the pressure on the spine. Some boots to it. And now, joint manipulation. That arm in trouble. Dunn wrenching back. And drops the knees once more into it. That is just targetive pressure from Dunn. He's certainly picked his mark on Eric. The chest and spine perfectly to be hit. And now, figure 4 leg lock applied. Gonna work over the legs a little. Obviously, extending them legs will do damage to the spine. If you pull back far enough, it causes the spine into an awkward state. But that's a discus forearm from Eric connecting. And he's unloading a bigger combo. It's the Saito. Thank you, Eric. You have made my day. Oh, thank you. Someone had to give me one. Nice suplex there from Ivar, who's getting his first long... Never mind, he's going to tag out. Or try to. Dunn stops it. So we will get a little bit more of Ivar. Roll up here. Dunn stealing it, maybe. I'm just trying my best to avoid that very obvious joke. It could be coming at any moment. Some say it's been overdone. Tag made. Ivar's has had a short stay and, well, delivers a nice clubbing clothesline to the back of Dunn's head. Dunn this time able to power up Eric, but that's a tornado DDT. Gonna stop whatever Peter was thinking there. But this Tiger Driver comes through. And that's usually a setup to a bitter end, but not the case. Instead, a German suplex comes through from Dunn. Just working over Eric here is Big Peter Dunn. Not going to be able to tag out. New Catch Republic hasn't been able to get fighting fresh with a big strong boy in quite some time. But there's a tag for the War Raiders. And they're going to send Dunn up into this staggering German clothesline. Cover here. And Tyler Bates in. Goes straight after Eric. And, well, in trademark, this is just a silly, goofy match fashion, Tyler Bate just misses the mark. Let's be honest. This should have been a continuation of a matchup. But instead of going for the pin, yeah. There's no real need to know what happened through the majority of the match. It just comes down to a mistake in the end. Eric looked great. Ivar had like 2 maneuvers the entire match. Same with Tyler Bate, and that one maneuver was going after the man on the apron. And we'll probably see the replay in a second as Ivar tagged in. Set up, pop up into the German. Hits the clothesline. And here's that cover. Eric exits the ring and Bate just goes after the wrong thing.
Here are your winners, Ivar and Eric, the War Raiders.
I guess you could say he got baited. Okay, I'm done now. The super serious hat is back on now. As we enter the co-main event. Let's go.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring from Montreal, Quebec, Canada, weighing in at 212 pounds, Sami Zayn.
Big Match Zayn is here to win it. Simple as that. He's looking to get into the title picture by any means necessary. Zayn, a big man, a big name here in IPW, forging a new path here in 2026. While falling short in that Amethyst Belt qualifying Battle Royale. Falling short to the inevitable #1 contender. Zayn now wants to bounce back, but he needs a phenomenal performance to do so if he is to beat this man. Ready to fly.
And his opponent from Gainesville, Georgia, weighing in at 218 pounds, AJ Styles.
The phenomenal one. With his career fully done ski. Haha. Gets to go toe-to-toe with the underdog of the underground. A moniker that Zayn's not used in many a year, but it certainly still fits his MO. And now, going toe-to-toe with AJ. This is main event territory for both men. I feel that in the future, both of these guys will be IPW champions in some form. As we get underway here, it's Zayn caught out the gates by Styles. Hangman neckbreaker out of Styles to kick this one off. Zayn, reversal jawbreaker, and we tie up between these two greats. Very similar in styles. If you pardon the pun, oh no, it started again, but very similar, as we say. Both innovators of offense. Both like some high-flying maneuvers in their kit. But in the end, it comes down to knockout power, a haluva kick versus the Styles clash. And right now, it's Styles getting the better of Zayn and forcing Sami to roll out of harm's way. Collar and elbow tie up once more. And Zayn overpowers Styles into another cover. Pushing him back. Again, and well, Zayn gonna let the break happen cleanly. He is, however, gonna maintain control as he rolls out. I think we're ready to fly here through the gap between the middle and bottom turnbuckle. Zayn hits that DDT like no one else. Styles now back on the offensive, going to return Zayn to the ring. Not going to fly in. Instead, just straight striking. And that's a nice flurry of elbows. That's going to end with Zayn taking over. Mat slam out of Zayn. Styles back up quickly, and he's unloading another combo that ends with Zayn this time hitting the floor. Taken up to the powerbomb and dropped down in said powerbomb position. Styles unloading, springboard up over a phenomenal Scorpion death drop. And then followed up with that sliding forearm smash. This is old school Styles on display as he takes it to that TNA type offense. The gut kick comes through. But a roll up here. Zayn trying to steal it. He's hooked the leg as well. Grapevines it and just really forces Styles to escape a difficult predicament. Zayn not done. Keeping Styles trapped to the mat. You always want to stop him from flying at any moment of a match, really. Styles is ready to fly, and, well, he's not going to go for that. Instead, rolls through, calf killer applied. Zayn able to fight out of it. And that's a big clubbing shot to the back. Puts Styles down. And that could have disoriented Styles, allowing Zayn to capitalize. Nice step up into the dropkick for Sammy. Sammy's not done. Takes the back of Styles. Half and half suplex. I'm going to opt for the cover here. Has he beaten the phenomenal one? The answer's no. Zayn caught. Arm drag takedown from Styles. Can't grab a hold of Zayn, and now Sammy going to capitalize a scoop slam and brings him down in the Michinoku driver. Zayn has Styles up and Blue Thunder bombed. Sammy thinks he's done enough. 1, 2, no. Kick out there. Styles back up quick. Could be a mistake because Sammy looks for the Helluva kick, misses. Styles wary of the danger. Sends Sammy running. Tries to maybe set up for a Styles clash. Pop him up for it, but Sammy grabs a hold and stops that from happening. Zayn positions AJ on the ropes. Now just going to slingshot him. The pace getting away from both men. Sammy now wisely going to slow it down. Maintain control. Not give Styles that opportunity. That's the avenue of the smartness of any man. But that's a Helluva kick attempt. Never mind that. Well, it connects now. I'm going to say it. Sammy making me eat my words. Because that's not the tempo change that I thought it was. That's just a kill shot. Goes for the cover again. 1, 2. Styles kicking out. A little more needed. A little more juice from Zayn to get the W, but he's busted open Styles now. Has the phenomenal one on the ropes. Well, not technically anymore, as Styles just launched out the ring. Zayn watching on, allowing the count to commence. Not gonna fly, instead just breaks the count. Nice guy Zayn. Not nice though is hitting his opponent and yeah, launch him into the apron. Styles now has a taste for the canvas after eating the edge just a moment ago. And Zayn just keeping the pressure on, as you do. Scorpion death drop from Sami. Trying to send Styles into the steps. Somehow Styles avoided that damage, but is in a lot of trouble as he's almost being counted out. Referee Big Kim reaching 8. Styles slow to his feet at the count of 9. And he's climbed back in as the referee reached 10. And the Phenomenal One's still in this. And in this with authority. Styles Clash connects into the cover. 1, 2. Zayn forced to kick out. He must have thought this was done and dusted. A count out dub over Styles, but at the brink of defeat, Styles is bouncing back. I may have spoke too soon. Well, no, I haven't spoke too soon. Gets out the Blue Thunder, and now Calf Crusher applied again. Sami in trouble. It's wrenching back here from Styles, and he gets the tap out. Not really any flying from Styles in this one. In fact, it was Zayn who took flight more. And well, that tail end, Styles found or recovered heavily on the outside. Almost counted out for the recovery. But it was needed because as soon as he entered, he was back on the offensive. He regained his wits and just struck gold. That's why you hear his theme blasting through the arena. And a W over Sami Zayn. Hard to forget both these men faced off during that Battle Royale, but they certainly did. Neither won it. But tonight, Styles gets the job done. Off of the Calf Killer.
Here is your winner, AJ Styles.
But what's next for AJ? We'll have to see. But I can tell you right now, it's a big match main event with a champion in action. Let's get it, boys and girls. Let's get it. It's main event time, as said. And the Ruby champion is in the house. Misses 2-time. Regaining this at the start of the year.
The following is scheduled for one fall, making her way to the ring, representing the Judgment Day. From Elmwood Park, New Jersey, the prestigious World Champion, Liv Morgan.
Winning the belt back in, I guess you could call it, the Revenge Tour. From Nia Jax. And you have to look at Liv Morgan, who lost it prior to the Winter Classic during Cash Out, and then regained it after the entire thing blew over in her rematch. And now, no opponent for Conquest.
And her opponent from the Queen City, Charlotte Flair.
But you have to feel that someone must be in number one contendership position. That yet to be decided, but Charlotte Flair makes her way into the ring. She could potentially be a threat to Liv Morgan and that championship. A former challenger for the Undisputed Women's World Championship on Primetime. We shall see if she can repeat that, but we're underway as Big Man Kevin draws duties to this one. And he's got his hands full with Liv and Flair. Liv obviously explosive to the brim. And Flair, she's just got class, pedigree, and just destruction in her guts. Drops her knees into the chest of Morgan and goes for the cover. Maybe some cockiness from the Queen, thinking that she's done enough. And saying Morgan's not in her league. However, Liv Morgan, very strong as champion. As we say, only one loss in both her reigns now. And that being to Nia Jax losing the belt at Cash Out. But prior to that, Morgan dominant in all her defenses. Beating Rhea Ripley. And beating several other stars here in IPW. Let's just rattle a few of them off for you. When I find them, obviously. Yeah, beating Tiffany Stratton. That's a big name. Coming off of a big win earlier tonight. Also beating Val freaking Henley, I believe, as well. During her Road to the Showdown and Summer Lovin', I should say. I'm literally just looking back over the year of our matches. Down the rabbit hole. Liv beat Rhea Ripley in that Who's Your Mommy match. Resolve was where she beat Tiffy. City Limits, Liv won in her open challenge. And then winning all of the showdown in the women's bracket. So many women have been beaten by Morgan en route to winning that Ruby belt. And you look at her performance during lockdown, obviously did not win the matchup, but came mighty close, was the workhorse of the match, eliminating the most women. Now showcasing her skills here against Charlotte Flair. A scoop slam connects. Hits the knees, that code breaker. Just perfectly executed. Dropping Flair center of the ring. Charlotte in trouble. As Liv off the rope, misses a step up into Guri, and Flair can capitalize here. Could try to weaken Liv, but Liv's caught her. Takes her down with a snapmare, and big boots collide into the side of Flair's face. Flair back up and launching Liv to the ringside. Something that didn't happen during the Royal Rumble was that moment of Liv's launched over the top rope and both feet hitting the floor, but right now, that's something that's just happened, and Liv not happy about it as she's starting to just destroy Charlotte on the outside. And you have to think, a win here for Flair probably puts her as #1 contender and may force an impromptu title match at Conquest against Morgan. That's an Oblivion. And that title match, hopes and dreams, could be out of the picture if Flair's unable to kick out of that. Liv needs a little more. Avoids the grappling attempts of Flair and then hits her own. And I've got a feeling she's just going to drive her into the mat. Flair garnering control. Morgan slowly gets back up, grappled though by Flair and sent for a little run. Back elbow from Flair. Drops the champion and smart by Morgan, had it scouted, avoids the figure 4 / figure 8, but eats a spear, and now Flair hooks it in. Figure 4 applied, and Flair bridging back, figure 8 now locked in. Damage done for Flair. As the champion on wobbly legs, staggered, and now dropped with a neck breaker. Flair gonna go for the cover now. Thinks that the spear and the figure 8 was enough initial damage to then go for a pin after a little more subsequent damage. Flair controlling the situation, dropping Morgan. Morgan back to her feet. Quicker than expected. Flair hooked up, scooped up. And that's some strength on display from Morgan. Able to lift the very tall Charlotte Flair. And then hit her with Oblivion. Into the cover goes the champion. And that is not enough. More damage needed. And Flair showing the strength of the Queen. The defensive prowess needed to reign supreme. But Liv might be reaching her breaking point. Flair's fired up. Charges in and hits that knee into the face. Flair chops connecting. You have to feel that Liv Morgan's chest is going to be filled with welts by the time this match is done. Backpack driver from Flair, but again, every time she tries to go down low on Morgan, Liv stops it. Irish whip from Flair. A drop down. The spear connects again. Drops the champion into the cover. Goes Charlotte. 1, 2, 3. A big victory for the champion. Sorry for Flair, but the champion sees a familiar foe on the rampway. Could that be a sight to see in the future? Well, we've certainly determined that we may be getting a Flair versus Morgan match soon. But I'm getting word that's not happening at Conquest. How about we find out what exactly is happening this weekend? Well, let's run down our card for Conquest. We kick off the show in the mixed tag team division as the champions Montez Ford and Bianca Belair defend against the It Couple. From there, we enter the Women's Conquest matchup. Julia, Chelsea Green, Tegan Knox, Jada Parker, Isla Dawn, Nikita Lyons, Zelina Vega, and Tiffany Stratton all competing for the Sapphire Belt. Then we go to Drew McIntyre versus the Sandman for the Amethyst Belt, and then our Men's Conquest bout. Abyss defends the television championship against Aleister Black, The Miz, DDP, Kazuchika Okada, Pat McAfee, Ilya Dragunov, and The Great Muta. And then our two-match main event is set. The Women's World Championship is going to be defended by Fallon Henley against Bianca Belair. Two-match duty for Bianca in that one. And then finally, our main event. We've seen a heated rivalry build since the Winter Classic. It is Kevin Nash and Will Ospreay one-on-one for the Emerald Belt. What a card that will be this weekend. Tune in for that one. And, well, we're done ski for tonight. Thanks for joining me. If you enjoyed it, leave a like down below. Subscribe if you're new and if you want to. And I will see you this weekend for Conquest.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss that stack, taking big